You have probably heard the story. General Sani Abacha was poisoned by Indian prostitutes brought to entertain him the night before his death. Or perhaps you have encountered the theory that a political rival or someone within his inner circle plotted his death. Some even believe his death was due to natural causes or health issues like diabetes and high blood pressure. Dozens of dramatic theories have circulated, each more shocking than the last, yet none have been proven. That brings us to the burning question: what really happened? In the early hours of June 7, 1998, an unexpected event would set in motion the final hours of one of Nigeria's most powerful and feared leaders, General Sani Abacha. Abacha's health began to decline right after a handshake with one of the security personnel accompanying Arafat, the then president of Palestine, during a visit to Nigeria. This innocent handshake at the Abuja International Airport marked the beginning of a rapid and mysterious decline. Major Hamza Al-Mustapha, the chief security officer to Abacha, noticed the change immediately. As he watched his master's face tighten with discomfort, he quickly alerted the aide-de-camp, Lieutenant Colonel Abdullah. The two men agreed something was terribly wrong and they would need to keep a close watch on Abacha. As the day moved on, the tension in the air only grew thicker. By the evening of June 8th at around 6 p.m, Abacha's doctor arrived, administering an injection intended to stabilize him. For a brief moment, it seemed to work. By 9 p.m, Abacha was up and about, even receiving visitors. Among those who visited was General Jeremiah Osheni, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, a man known to be one of Abacha's closest friends. The two spent hours together, chatting late into the night until around 3:35 a.m. As first light of morning came, the situation took a deadly turn. At about 5 a.m, security guards rushed to Al-Mustapha's quarters with alarming news stating that Abacha was in a critical condition. Knowing that Abacha was healthy the last time he checked, this information didn't sit right with Al-Mustapha. He immediately suspected that a coup attempt was in play. Al-Mustapha prepared for the worst, putting on his uniform and readying himself for whatever might come. He quickly came up with a plan to reach Abacha's side without raising suspicion. So, he used his wife as a distraction to keep the guards busy while he used the back door to get to Abacha's location. When Al-Mustapha finally arrived at Abacha's bedside, he realized it wasn't a coup. He found the once powerful leader gasping for breath. Bound by military protocol, he hesitated. Touching the head of state without permission was strictly forbidden, but the situation at hand demanded action. Kneeling beside the dying man, Al-Mustapha pleaded, "General Sani Abacha, sir, please grant me permission to touch and carry you." Silence filled the room. In a final attempt to save his leader, Al-Mustapha summoned Dr. Wali, Abacha's personal physician. Within minutes, the doctor arrived and administered 2 injections, one to the heart, the other near the neck. But it was too late. The once unyielding leader of Nigeria had turned cold. The doctor's next words confirmed what Al-Mustapha feared the most. General Sani Abacha was dead. Panic surged through the presidential villa as the reality of the situation set in. The death of a leader as powerful as Abacha could throw the nation into chaos. Al-Mustapha acted swiftly, using special communication gadgets to summon the service chiefs, military governors, and a select few to a 9 a.m. meeting, under the pretense that the head of state required their presence. He also secretly informed some former Nigerian leaders that Abacha had requested a meeting with them at the same time. The plan was to control the narrative and manage the inevitable fallout. But behind the scenes, tensions were boiling over as the news of Abacha's death quietly spread among the inner circle. One of the service chiefs, Lieutenant General Ishaya Bamiyi, saw an opportunity. He suggested that he should become the new head of state and even proposed allowing Chief MKO Abiola, Abacha's political rival, access to the corridors of power. Alarmed by Bamiyi's boldness, Al-Mustapha and other security heads quickly realized that this was a dangerous game. They moved Abiola to a safer location, understanding that the stakes were now higher than ever. As the crisis deepened, a dark suggestion emerged from the shadows. Some junior officers, overhearing Bamiyi's ambition, proposed a brutal solution. They proposed to eliminate all members of the Provisional Ruling Council and form a story of a deadly shootout during a PRC meeting. Al-Mustapha, already overwhelmed by the chaos, knew this path would lead to a bloodbath. Seeking guidance, he reached out to General Buba Marwa and Ibrahim Sabo, who both advised against any violence. Their words carries the wisdom of experience. The best course of action was to support the most senior officer in the PRC as the new head of state. They also suggested consulting General Ibrahim Babangida, another seasoned leader, who echoed the same advice. But the situation took another twist. Bamiyi, growing impatient, turned on Al-Mustapha, accusing him of naivety. "Can't you use your head?" he mocked. "Has it not occurred to you that Osheni, who was the last man with the head of state, might have poisoned him, knowing well that he was the most senior officer in the PRC?" With suspicions running high and the fragile balance of power staggering on the edge, the future of Nigeria hung in the balance. As Al-Mustapha's account shows, the story of General Sani Abacha's death is far more complex and mysterious than the rumors of a poisoned apple or the whispers of a betrayal among his concubines. It was a moment in history where every decision, every word, and every action could change the fate of a nation. But what if everything Al-Mustapha said about Abacha's death was fabricated to cover up something even bigger? What if Abacha's closest friend, Osheni, was behind his death? What if Abacha was really poisoned by a prostitute or someone from his inner circle? No one really knows the full story, but what I've shared with you today can be considered the truth, as it comes from someone who was once and still is loyal to Abacha.